Hello YouTube, and this is another episode of Designer's Eye. Today's topic, I want to talk about misconceptions that I've heard about graphic designers and artists alike. These are things that people have said to me ignorantly or to other artists that I would just like to clear up. So, you're in art. So, did you choose it because you aren't good at anything else? I mean, it's the easiest field. Story time. So, it was freshman year of college for me, and I was in an astronomy class because it was part of my core requirements. And I was actually one of the top 3 students of the class, actually in the 90s while everybody else were in the 80s or lower. And no joke, I was stopped by a student and they asked me, "What major are you?" I told them graphic design, and they said, "Really? I expect an art student to be so smart." This is both ignorant and insulting to say to an art student. You are assuming that we're too stupid or too lazy to pick another field. Actually, a majority of us are pretty bright. I've worked with very well-rounded other artists in the art department. We just chose what we were passionate about, and it just so happened to be the arts. It's just like somebody else choosing a passion for science or for math or for computers or for business. Furthermore, art is not the easiest field to take. People have this misconception because it's art, but the truth is, classes are 3 hours long. You're expected to be working 3 hours worth of quality work while you're there, and that's just in class. There was actually a professor that told me once that an art student's expected to do 3 times the amount of hours that it takes in class. So let's do the math here. That's 9 hours, first of all. So the average art student has about usually 4 art classes on their schedule. So each is 3 hours, and each has the expectations of 9 hours in their project. So that's 36 hours a week, assuming you have 1 project for each class. Yeah, that's a lot. So it's not that easy. Oh, you designer types have it lucky. I mean, you just show off what you can do and you get hired. This is absolutely not true. Graphic design is a very competitive field. Less than 50% of designers that have made it out of art school actually land in a designer position. To the ones that made it in their job field, consider yourself lucky. Most of the others are still waiting or have moved on to other jobs instead. So what? I can get Photoshop too. How hard is it to get? There is a huge difference between having the tools and then having the craft. Sure, you can do a few things here and there once you download the Adobe program, legally or illegally. I mean, come on, we know what happens. But then you realize that you need to train for hours, days, maybe even years to master some of the tools in Adobe Photoshop and especially in Illustrator. That thing is a beast. Truth is, you do have to go to school to understand both the tools and the craft itself. Will you do pro bono for me? I mean, I just want to get a t-shirt, but I don't have any money. No, I don't think you're gonna get hired or anything. I mean, you just make pretty things. Nobody needs that. This is another insulting one that I've heard. This is specifically for graphic designers. Now, first of all, I have a job, so that's ruled out. Granted, it was hard because it's so competitive, but it isn't impossible. Secondly, graphic design actually is more important than people realize. Graphic designers are there to produce branding identity, which is the face of a business. It is the brand identity that makes businesses recognizable in the first place. If not for brand identity, there wouldn't be a Coca-Cola. Or at least, you wouldn't be able to distinct Coca-Cola from anything else. There would be no distinction of any of your products. Other artists outside of a design are also important. We need the arts. We need the arts for entertainment, and we need the arts for self-expression. So those are the most common misconceptions that I've heard people tell me in all my years in college. Any art students who are watching, why not comment on other misconceptions you've heard people say around you? On that note, I'm closing out by saying my name's Tracy Kyles, and this was Designer's Eye. Thanks for watching, and artists keep crafting.